Brodes Media.
Holy hell! Cristopher Sanchez is unbelievable! I rip this team a new asshole every single day of my life. For one night, I'll zip it. I won't bring up that Trey Turner sucks defensively and Bryson Stott bailed him out once and pulled Bryce Harper off the bag for a standard traditional routine ground ball. I won't bring that up. I won't bring up Bryson Stott. I won't bring up the fact that their offense died out after a nice few couple of innings to give you a 4-rip lead. I won't mention that. Instead, I will focus on the genius on the mound. I'm going to give Ricky Bo a big shout out for saying this on the post game, but he really does have some Zach Wheeler tendencies, Zach Wheeler demeanor. I'm not telling you he's 1A Zach Wheeler. I'm not saying that. But the stature, the way that you can clearly, obviously see that Wheeler took him under his wing and helped him evolve tremendously. That's why you're getting this crazy value. And because Sanchez is gross. He's gross. That changeup is gross. And what he was doing to Roman Anthony, you know in those high school movies where you get a swirly? Isn't that what it's called? When you take a geek that gets shoved in the lockers, you put his head in the toilet, and you flush it a bunch of times? That was Roman Anthony. Four! Not one time. Four fucking times, baby. It was so sick. I remember in his third at-bat, which I didn't even know at the time. I wasn't paying closely enough attention to know and realize that he already struck out twice previously. And during that third at-bat, I went, wow. He is so off base. Wow. He is so confused. He is guessing and guessing wrong every time. The ninth! It was even, wow, way more glaring and obvious. Did you see that third strike? Glued to his shoulders. The pitch was over the heart of the plate. His mind was bouncing all around. Zero answers. When he reached double-digit Ks, when he walked off the mound and he showed that fire, that's the difference between Wheels and him. Sanchez has that young pup energy. Sanchez has sort of that puppy excitement, jump around on the back legs, constantly going at your knees, kind of puppy intent. He gives it that, yeah! Yeah! Woo! He gives you those. My wife is totally not going to be happy with me. But this is what Cristopher Sanchez does to my life. This is what seeing an excellent performance does to me. My body starts to shake. I'll lose sleep. I will not consume anything over the next 9 hours other than the extended highlights from this one and the final out and the 8th. When he had the Buzz and CBP standing on their feet. Imagine being Gage Wood. This dude gets drafted. He already plays with a ton of personality, which you saw in the College World Series no-hitter. He saw a Schwarbaum Grand Slam in July. This isn't the College World Series where everything's on the line and everyone in the sport is putting their full attention on it. This is July. Playing against the Los Angeles Angels right out of the break. And a decent Boston team. But you're getting $42K plus at the bank to see this. And then you see what it could be like if it's you. You got to imagine, right? As a competitor, he closed his eyes and said, that's going to be me. Spoke it into existence. Where's Gage Wood? Look at the tone on this show. Huh? Imagine if this is the first time you tuned into this program, first time you saw my stupid ass face on a thumbnail, and this is what you got. You'd be like, oh, man, this guy supports his team. This guy loves his team. This guy would never bring up the fact that Trey Turner should have had 2 errors in this game on pretty fundamental plays at shortstop. No, he would never, ever want anybody to hear that after such an epic, energized night. I want to relive it. Boston is good against lefties, too. They're at the top of Major League Baseball when it comes to being effective and being able to be lethal in the box against lefties. Sanchez goes, yo, dude, I'm not any other fucking lefty. That deadly changeup, it cracks me up. It looks so simple. It looks so easy. The delivery to the plate. The way his arm slot is with that changeup. It's nonchalant. You'd think because it's such a nasty pitch and he uses it to get a lot of strikeouts, you'd be anticipating it and you'd be realizing that it's coming. And they are. This is them, the best hitters in the world, knowing it's coming and still dazed, confused, out in front of it. What a weird game, though, huh? Didn't even bring up the fact that Bryce Harper took off for home and nobody understood the ruling and the scoring. Took 63 hours to figure out what the call was. I don't even know what ball catcher's interference again. RBI different from with the extra inning game because of the ghost runner. Whatever. Did Bryce get home? But even him in the early stage of the game, just playing insane on the bases. You got another Schwarber. You even got Max Kepler flexing his muscles. That's how you know that this is one of the most ridiculous scoring series of all time. Walk off with the catcher's interference, then that play with Bryce at the plate. And Max Kepler stands in the box. Huh. When Sanchez wasn't striking guys out, which he was all night, ground ball, ground ball, ground ball, ground ball, ground ball. Stott flashing the leather. Bryson Stott is annoying at the plate. I'll give him credit here, even though he's nowhere even close to good enough. Currently, clearly. He is not bringing the poor fly-outs to opposite field attitude towards the defense. He's still taking pride in that defense. He's still ripping the leather out there, and he's still doing everything he can on that side of things. What does that mean? It means nothing if he can't get his head out of his ass so he can start having a bat that works counts and gets hits. And seriously, what was it? Maybe 2.5 weeks or so where he gave us that Bryson Stott again? Wow. It's a big enough sample size now to see that this is uncomfortable for a long period of time with his offense. So we have to ask serious questions on what that is. But he is still showing up and, competing on that end. And I acknowledge that. Doesn't change anything other than me just acknowledging it. Luzardo tomorrow. It would be big to see the Boston Red Sox come in here with all the fans aggravated and just mad about the current vibe and the current state. For you to sweep Boston after the Angels crap, that's good mojo, okay? Hey, JT, I just want to give you the hat tip. You're behind the plate for 9 innings of work like that. And it's funny because my buddy texted me and said, you think he's going to get the finish? And I said to him, 96 pitches? Nah, probably not. Here I am, the dumbass. I thought it was the 7th. I'm going, 2 more innings. No way. Turns out, here he goes, walking up the steps, and I saw the grab. Oh, yeah, dude. It was one of those days for me. It was all over the place. I'm so glad Rob Thompson did it. When I saw Kerkering warming up prior, I thought maybe he had the chance to get out there, especially wondering what was going to transpire with Roman Anthony to lead off that ninth inning. But that was a great button push by Topper. Now, it's an obvious one, you would think. The feeling of the night, if you just keep your hand on there and just figure out the pulse, this seemed to be an obvious choice. But managers sometimes do screw it up. Managers sometimes do fail and overthink or not actually have feel of the game and just go with what they want to do in a 4-1 game to try and get the win. But if you have two eyeballs, you can see clear as day that nobody in that lineup would be able to effectively string hits together as a tandem to come back in this game, especially with Roman Anthony. Fun. Just fun. And it's funny, I tweeted this out in the second inning. I said, this could just be one of those nights where it's a fun, positive baseball game. And then in parentheses, this won't backfire. Because I felt confident in that.